To draw a Mexican sugar skull, you're going to need a pencil and a pen and an eraser. But let's not talk about it. Let's do it. Drawing a sugar skull in 3D is pretty much a circle. Get some sellotape and jam jar lid, anything circular to go around. And just draw that very gently in pencil because you want to erase that later. And basically what you want to do is to go around the outside. And we're going to go pretty much 3/4 of the way around, just maybe to about there. So that would be 3/4 all the way around there. And then here, we're just going to come sort of down like that. And then sort of swing it around like that. So this is a skull and it's kind of twisted 3/4 view. And so the actual profile is going to be something like that. Maybe a bit flatter down the front. So that when we come to draw the eyes, the eye on this side is going to be quite squeezed. It's going to be an ellipse, whereas the eye on this side would be much more of a circle. And then we're just going to do this fairly simply with flowers around here. In the Day of the Dead, marigold flowers are a big thing. So that's why you see lots of flowers decorating sugar skulls. But here we have to think a little bit more carefully. So the top ones and the bottom ones are going to be quite long. But these ones are going to be quite short. See, that's come right to the middle. That's too much already. So they're going to be something like that. And they're going to squeeze in there like that. And I'm just going to make them a little bit more petal-like by sticking these little flicks in there, which also look a bit like eyelashes, don't they? Which that's very convenient. So I'm going to slightly adjust this now. That's going to be the center line there. And I'm going to bring the nose in like a teardrop. And then I'm going to put these little loops around there. And just put little dots in. Sugar skulls, a lot of it is about very simple patterns. When you think you've kind of got a white sugar skull and you're doing the patterns with like piping on icing, so it's not easy to do, is it? So they're fairly basic patterns. And I'm just going to use my brush pen here to ink that in. It just does it a lot more quickly for me. It doesn't matter how you shade that in. So I'm going to shade in the eyeballs. And I could sort of leave it to the end, but I think it just looks better to get these bits done first, like that. And then we want to draw the mouth. So we're going to start by doing a curve across like that. And then we want to do kind of a sausage all the way around it like that. And then we're going to draw the teeth. And we're going to make the teeth go slightly bigger than the mouth, okay? And they're slightly curving those lines as well, like that. And then we're going to kind of flick up into these bits there. So you get that kind of gruesome mouth. It looks like it's been sewn together a bit, doesn't it? Ugh! But it's a very kind of Day of the Dead thing. That's a good start. How are you doing? Good. Keep up. And now we're going to do the eyebrows. And again, my centre line seems to have moved again. So I'm going to put that over there. I'm going to start about here and I'm going to do a curly, whirly like that. Okay, so that's like an eyebrow. And then we have to do it the other way around here, which is not so easy because that's going off around the other side of the skull, and then you'll maybe see a bit like that there. This is really 3D. This is actually a very tricky thing to draw. I know I call it draw stuff real easy, but I'm just trying to make really difficult things a bit easier. And let's put a heart in there. That's be a nice kind of motif there. And then we're going to have like like a little semicircle, and then maybe another one like that. And you can put little dots inside. Looks a bit like a flying saucer landing on his head. Anyway, so, and we'll have a line coming down following that center line. And let's put one out there. So these want to curve, and that'll help give you that sort of curving feeling for the whole 3D thing like that. And then I'm just going to put little dots on the end of these. Just extra pattern like that. Now I'm going to do a very simple flower here, and we'll just see a tiny bit of that there. So this is going to be like the cheeks. And then along the bottom here, I'm going to do very simple, like it's a lot of petals that have been just stuck along the bottom, and they'll get smaller and smaller and fade away there. And you can put these little flicks up inside it, which just adds to that pattern and just doesn't leave it as a boring kind of space. It's looking a bit like a motorcycle helmet, really, isn't it? And then let's put another flower in around the back here. And we'll just do that around there. But this won't have the black part for the eyes, but we can put those eyelashes in there. And let's make it more of a flower. We can put these little bits coming out from the middle with little dots on the end. Makes it more of a hibiscus kind of flower, maybe. They're meant to be marigolds. Did I mention that earlier? Marigolds are a big part of the Day of the Dead, or the Dia de los Muertos in Mexico. And I think we can, let's put another heart there. And half a heart there, because it's around the back so you don't see the whole thing. And I don't know, we can just put, I tell you what, I'm going to do that double there. I'm going to put a little thing there. It's like it's the fruit, I suppose. And we could put another one there as well. Now, when you are absolutely sure that the ink is dry, then you can erase those pencil lines and you won't smudge the ink, because you really don't want to do that. And then we're going to try and make this look a bit more 3D by sticking some shadow in there. And I'm going to start here, and then those will get a little wider and wider and wider. Oop. And we're just going to draw these lines out. So this works like, I could just draw it or paint it in black and have a really hard shadow, but the eye gets tricked into thinking this is grey and it's a kind of a softer shadow. And then if I want to make it a bit darker, then I can, these are hatchings, we call that hatching, and then these are cross hatchings, which I don't have to go right to the edge of where we've been already, and so that makes the edge a little bit softer. And then I can turn the paper, actually. I can cross hatch again and do shorter lines, which means that the darkest part is really kind of underneath our skull, and that makes the outside of the shadow softer. And what we could do is to put a little bit of hatching, slightly curving lines. If you just turn the page a little bit as you're going, and then these lines started off quite small, but then they got a bit wider, and as you come around the corner you want to start making them shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter again. And that's just going to give that little bit of shade around the side of your sugar skull. And all you need to do is colour the whole thing in. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Come back again and draw stuff real easy.